everybody, welcome to my channel. This is a video series I do called Transfer Tuesday, where every Tuesday I share our goals and our progress towards those financial goals in a way to help keep us accountable. So currently we are working on paying down our mortgage to be able to drop the PMI by the end of the year. So in previous weeks I had shared our progress, and typically it had been every month on the 1st is when our mortgage would process, and I would make an additional payment at that time. And then the other weeks throughout the month, I was focusing on other goals. So we had already, as of the end of June, finished one goal of maxing out my Roth IRA. So then I started a new goal. Well, last week was kind of an aha moment when I realized, okay, now we are in August and I still have $10,000 to go in order to reach this goal of being able to drop the PMI. So that was a little bit of a wake-up call and kind of, I guess, the boost I needed to kick us into gear in order to be able to achieve that goal. So I do have another very aggressive goal that I really want to achieve as well, of saving up $20,000 by June 1st of 2023. So trying to juggle those two really big goals is proving to be a bit of a challenge in knowing what to prioritize. So I think what I've decided to do is focus on one at a time. So knowing, obviously, the end of the year comes before June, that I should be focusing on the mortgage one now, more so than my other goal that isn't until June. So I figure, well, if I focus on this one and knock that out, then I won't have to put any additional. We can kind of just go back to paying our minimums and put any of that additional towards then this other goal. So I think that's where I'm at. You'll have to stay tuned every week. Maybe I'll change my mind. I don't know. I am a woman, right? So what we did this week for Transfer Tuesday was an additional $300 towards that principal. So even though we are just, not even 10 days into the month, it would include, we had, as I mentioned, our standard payment, and then I have an additional $100 automatically that goes towards principal as kind of part of our standard payment, if you will. And then the little mind game that I play in looking at the number to see, what it is and how much I need to get below the next 1,000. So last week I had shared and we had did an extra $200 in order to achieve that. So with this additional $300 this week, for the month of August, we are up to $1,298.01 towards principal on this mortgage. So that, again, that does not include the payments that go towards our escrow or the interest. So those are not included. Any of the extra payments I make, those are pure principal, but that standard payment is what includes the interest and the escrow and the PMI on that as well. So that's why it's hard to get momentum when your mortgage is in those early years, because you're paying more on interest than you are on principal. So that's why these extra payments make such a difference to help kind of get that going. So knowing that last week I did that $200 just to get it below that next 1,000, I was still starting at, looking at the hundreds, 990 something, I think it was. So I didn't want to obviously play my little mind game and pay $1,000 towards it in 1 week. So I kind of was thinking, okay, well, we have how many weeks left in this month? If I kind of break that up and maybe do like $200 to $300 each week, if we are able, that could help add an extra $1,000 for this month. So that's kind of the strategy that I am taking. So I did the 300, but I just had to pay like a $240 bill that we got, medical bill for my husband for his chiropractor appointments that he had. I had to take my daughter to urgent care this weekend, so I'm sure be getting some bills from that. So there's just always some unknown. So I don't like to get too aggressive. I like to have wiggle room within our budget. So I felt like we had a little bit of enough of a buffer within our savings that I felt I could comfortably do that 300 without, going too extreme. So that was what we did. So again, like I mentioned, in the next couple of weeks, I plan to just do, a couple hundred as I'm able, trying to really focus on that because $10,000 over the next 4 or 5 months is a lot of money. So I should have some additional reimbursement money coming our way. Our birthdays and Christmas, we do tend to get some money. So those could also go towards this goal if we get down to the wire and we are in a pinch. By nature, I'm a very competitive person. So when I set a goal like this, like I want to achieve it, even though in reality, there really is no deadline, right? Like, it's not the end of the world if I don't achieve this goal by December 31st. Like, either way, even if we do achieve it and we reach the amount we need to get the mortgage to request that PMI, it's still going to be a process. We still have to write a letter and mail it in order to even request it to be removed. So that will probably take another month or so. But it's really the principle behind it of what we are striving to achieve and the why, I guess. So saving that $48 a month, I don't know if it's really a good enough reason, but it was a goal that we chose, so that's what we are choosing to stick to and accomplish for this year. And then focus again, like I mentioned, on that other big $20,000 goal. But I guess I can stop rambling about that because before we know it, the new year will be here and there will be new goals and starting over with that Roth IRA, etc. So kind of always a lot, and there's always, things in limbo as well, and life changes and things like that. So we take this 1 week at a time, and I share what I'm doing with our finances and working towards different goals. So I'd love to hear in the comments below what goals that you are working on and what you have accomplished this week for Transfer Tuesday. And I will see you back here again next week with an update.